I should go close my cabinet.
Welcome, everyone, to our favorite day of the week, Saturday morning.
Yeah, good morning, everybody.
And I think this is the first time we've broadcasted on HAPS TV, so this ought to be interesting.
Yep, yep. This is our maiden voyage on the Haps TV. So, and then as luck would have it, I had my cabinet open over my shoulder here, so everyone could see my goddamn frosted mini wheats going on. So,
It could be worse.
yeah, it definitely could have been worse.
Uh,
I'm trying to eat healthy anyway, healthier. So,
yeah, yeah, me too. I was eating bacon and stuff earlier, so
yeah, but it was healthy bacon. So,
Well, I mean, what bacon isn't healthy? Isn't it all healthy?
well, I don't know. I honestly, I actually don't really, eat a whole lot of bacon, but.
That's like one. That's like the fifth food group, bacon. uh,
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of
so,
people would agree with you there. So,
so the so for all of you that are new on here, if you don't know what we do, we are two big time metalheads, of course, and of course that would kind of defeat the purpose of the show if we weren't, right?
yeah,
We're two country music artists doing a metalhead show now.
yeah,
But yeah, we take a little stories from a lot of different websites, and like Blabbermouth and Loudwire and Metal Injection and so on and so on. Probably, I know I go through about at least 10 to 12 myself, and I know Chris does a little bit different stuff than I do. But we try to give credit where credit's due when we do the stories.
yeah,
But we try to compile all that into one show for you guys, so you don't have to go out and read all that crap. Although we may be taken away from them, but uh, but
well,
I mean,
not really, but I
I
mean,
mean, if you're driving, most of your day, then it's hard to stop and read an article while you're driving. So here you can just
yeah,
listen to it, and we can
yeah,
keep you kind of informed, I guess. Hopefully, we do.
yeah. Well, especially since the content that we pick and choose from, we're literally just picking and choosing. You said you usually do between 10 and 12 sites. I usually keep my eye on between like 6 and 8, maybe sometimes 10. So, and then the amount of stuff that we're picking and choosing from is just like literally like just a drop in the bucket compared to the amount of news stories that are on all these sites. So,
Oh,
you know,
most definitely.
I mean, we're borrowing, sure, but like you said, we give credit to where credit is due. But I mean, I don't think we're robbing anybody of any content by any stretch. So we're just sharing it and distributing it.
Right. So a little bit about what we do. We do birthdays, of course, is a big thing that we do, and then we do this week in metal history. So whatever goes on in the week in the past, we try to cover as much of that as we can. Or some of the interesting stories is what I usually try to get out of it. Um, and then we do the news of the week, of course, and then we usually get into something like we try to keep a little originality to the show, and do like this week we're doing our top 10 favorite movie soundtracks that contain mostly metal soundtrack. Uh, so I think I don't remember what we did. What we did last week? Oh, we did the female,
That's
our favorite female vocalist because of Mother's Day last week. So
right. Yeah.
so,
Yeah,
so
we
we
did.
do we do a little original content here to to keep it fresh and not to bore you guys to death with just stories. So
Right.
and then if you and also we do have a Facebook page. It is under the same banner, Metalheads Unite. If you want to go over there, you can check out some of the content there as well. Because sometimes we don't have time on here, we carry it over to there. So you can always request to join the group over there. We can get you in there. You can comment on some of the stuff that we did and want to add to a list that we done or anything like that. You can always do that there. We always welcome to comments and suggestions. So
Yeah, and right now, what we've been doing is the bulk of the content over at the Facebook page is where we actually post the music videos. That's the bulk of what we do over there right now,
right,
because we don't currently have the capability to play music for you guys. We're hoping that's something that comes down sooner than later. Hopefully, we'll actually have a separate radio show where we're actually able to play the music in addition to supplementing with the talk show that we have here. So
right. Yeah, so that's something I would like to. I'm still working on that. We want to get that going here in the next couple of weeks, hopefully. Uh, like you said, sooner the better. But we've been talking about it for a while, and I think we've gotten some of the stuff worked out, but we still got a little ways to go. So, uh,
but fingers crossed, fingers crossed.
right. All right. So you want to jump into this thing this week, or?
Yeah, let's start off. Let's lead off with the current events. I have one here from loudwire.com. PETA are not fans of the Offspring's new video for We Never Have Sex Anymore, which was just released yesterday being May 13th, when this story first broke. Starring actor John Stamos and a couple of chimpanzees, the Animal Rights Agency sent a letter to the band asking them to remove the video because they claim it exploits the animal. The video features chimps dressed as humans, which, how can you not find that hilarious? Chimps dressed as humans. Carrying out human chores like cleaning a house, driving, and hanging out at an exotic club. PETA's senior manager of animals in film and television, Lauren Thomason, who I can only imagine what this twat looks like. I can just picture the haircut this woman has. That haircut, going
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Talk to a manager.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Lauren Thomason addressed the letter to frontman Dexter Holland today, May 14th, which obviously was, yesterday, which argues that, quote unquote, exploiting the chimps sends a, quote unquote, dangerous message. You can read the full body of the letter below, which reads, Dear Mr. Holland, the out-of-touch video for We Never Have Sex Anymore risks resurrecting the chimpanzee trade in Hollywood. Dressing up chimpanzees, presenting their fear grimaces as smiles, and placing them side by side with celebrities is a dangerous messaging trifecta, and there isn't a primate expert alive who doesn't condemn this kind of old school exploitation. If you were going for counterculture, you hit it out of the park. We believe that the chimpanzees in the video came from the notorious animal supplier Steve Martin, who has been cited numerous times for failing to meet the minimum standards set by the Federal Animal Welfare Act, including for locking chimpanzees and orangutans in cramped, barren night housing for up to 18 hours a day. He also has a history of disposing of unwanted chimpanzees and other wild animals. 2 of the chimpanzees he used ended up at the atrocious GW Zoo, which was featured in Netflix's Tiger King. There are plenty of things we all miss about the 90s, but animal exploitation isn't among them. Every minute your video remains online, it risks legitimizing a cruel industry, propping up the exotic pet trade, and reversing years of animal advocacy work that has nearly ended the use of chimpanzees in Hollywood. These chimpanzees' tragic story is something that we just can't repeat. We urge you to pull the video immediately. That's the bulk of the letter. I don't know if there's any more than that. As per the press release, part of PETA's motto reads, animals are not ours to use in entertainment, and that the music video shows disrespect to the primate. Hollywood Animals is listed as the animal wrangler in the credits of the music video on the Offspring's YouTube channel. The company trains exotic wildlife for use in film, television, and advertising. With our affection training methods and positive reinforcement, we get the results you want in a happy and safe environment. Safety for the crew and animals is our number one priority. For over 30 years, we have dedicated ourselves to maintaining the highest safety standards in animal care in the film industry. Hollywood Animals website reads in the About section. Hollywood Animals Incorporated is fully insured and a licensed exhibitor and permitted worldwide by the USDA, U.S. Fish and Wildlife, CITES, which I think is an acronym for some sort of, another federal group, the
Mm.
California Department of Fish and Game, Los Angeles City Animal Regulation, Los Angeles County, and APHIS, which is another acronym for something. So yeah, there you have it. Um,
So
Peter rearing its ugly head again.
two things. Did you say something in the beginning of that story about John Stamos?
Yeah, apparently John Stamos is in the video. I haven't seen this video because I'm not exactly the biggest fan of the Offspring, so
Right.
I haven't seen the video yet. But apparently John Stamos and two chimpanzees are in it, so may have to just check that out
Just for that,
just just for that. Yeah.
yeah. So, so he was holding the chimpanzees or something. Is that what the?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I don't know how he was supposedly interacting with the chimpanzees in the video. So I really
Gotcha.
don't know. So we're gonna have to watch that and follow up on this. And what we'll do is we'll actually post the video to the Metalheads Unite Facebook page so everyone can check it out.
Yeah, sounds good. So what I was getting was John Stamos was playing with the other members of Full House in the video.
Yeah, I don't know if John Stamos was spanking the monkey or not. So
So. Oh man.
of course I'm sure there's a lot of women out there who would probably watch John Stamos spank the monkey, but
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
John Stamos, get on that. You could probably make a shitload of money.
Right. All
Not
right.
that he doesn't have a shitload of money already anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Uh, so we know that the Download Festival has been canceled, and we've covered a couple of stories. I think the one I did a few weeks back was actually Bruce Dickinson and the biking or something, right? Was they were biking from the some I can't remember where they were biking from, but they were actually biking to the destination, which was I don't remember how far it was, but it was a pretty good distance to be biking. I think it actually said it was going to take them a couple of days, so I was like, oh wow. But anyway, you could ride with Bruce Dickinson to the Download Festival where it was supposed to be. But there's some more news with that this week. Download Festival, they have teamed up with Sky Arts for a new free-to-air TV event this June called Reloaded. The two-night show will feature tracks from the best download headliner performances from the past 10 years, including Iron Maiden, Slipknot, Rammstein, Metallica, Guns N' Roses, Linkin Park, and more, and will air on June 5th and 6th, which is the weekend that should have marked Download 2021. The past 2 years without the Download Festival have been tough for us all, so we are delighted to be able to bring you some of the biggest and best download performances to your living room this year, says head honcho Andy Copping. And that was from a news site that I just discovered called Brave Words. Uh, don't know much about that site, but I happened to be on it and it had a lot of good metal news on it. So I was like, I'm gonna grab that one. So
Well, hell, any metal news is good metal news.
yeah, but I was just surprised that because we do so much of the obvious ones that there's actually some that are hidden there. Actually, there was two. There was another one I'll probably get to later. That was another one that I found. I'm like, oh, this is pretty neat. That I'm finding more and more outlets to pick and choose news from. So
Yeah, yeah.
like I said, I think that was the only one that I actually seen that story on too.
Oh,
So
nice. Okay, somebody
yeah,
had an exclusive. Okay,
yeah. So that's pretty cool.
nice. All right. Well, Jason, I know you'll probably be excited about this because I know as soon as I saw it, I told my wife, I was like, no fucking way. Metalocalypse is getting uh, a new movie on Adult
Yep,
Swim.
yep.
Yeah, Adult Swim
Actually,
announced to. What's that? Go ahead.
I was saying I actually seen that. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, this is from blabbermouth.net. Adult Swim announced it will produce a new original movie based on the hit original series Metalocalypse. The movie will be released globally on Blu-ray, DVD, and on digital transactional video on demand (TVOD) in parentheses, and electronic sell-through (EST) in parentheses for a 90-day exclusive window, followed by premieres on HBO Max and Adult Swim. Leveraging the power of Warner Media allows us to deliver original content to our amazingly dedicated and not shy fans, while also giving our talented series creators an opportunity to tell stories in new and interesting ways, said Michael Ulaween. I think I said that wrong.
We
Well,
we
maybe I didn't. I don't know. But anyway, he's the however you say his last name. He's Adult Swim. Metalocalypse was one of the first original productions to air on Adult Swim. Metalocalypse first aired on Adult Swim in 2003 and ran for 4 seasons, ending with the half-hour special The Doomstar Requiem in 2013. During its run, series creator Brendan Small also produced 4 albums by the show's fictional band Death Clock, which have sold 1 million album equivalents. The Death album was released in September 2007 and debuted at number 21 on the Billboard 200 chart. The Metalocalypse movie synopsis reads as follows. The power-hungry tribunal unveils their secret and deadly Falconback project as the world grows in embattled chaos and the menacing Doomstar breaches the Earth's atmosphere while the mysterious and twisted descent of a band member threatens the future of Death Clock. Picking up directly after the heroic rescue of Toki Wartooth, can Death Clock choose between their egos and the greater good of the world to embark on a gauntlet of dangers that will try their very souls and finally write the song that will be their salvation? So that's the synopsis of the movie. The new movie is created by Small and Tommy Blacha. The movie will be released on Water. The soundtrack for the movie will be released on Water Tower Music. Adult Swim, launched in 2001, is Warner Media's #1 brand for young adults, offering original and acquired animated and live-action series. Airing nightly from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. Eastern Time on its linear channel, and also available through HBO Max, Adult Swim is basic cable's #1 network with persons 18 to 34 and 18 to 49, and is seen in 94 million U.S. homes, reaching over 40 million viewers on HBO Max. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the Metalocalypse movie, because I thought I was really pissed off the way that Metalocalypse actually ended on Adult Swim. There was that huge cliffhanger, and I was like, if they don't come back and fix this shit, I'm gonna be very upset. So the
right.
fact that they're gonna tie everything together and put a nice bow on it, and so
So
I'm
so
definitely
did
I'm
you?
definitely looking forward to that.
So I had that story too, and the way that I read it was there were going to be 3 films. Is that not the way you read that?
No, I'm unless there's something new that came out.
Yeah, they said
It's
there was.
just supposed to be an original movie on Adult Swim. I mean, if there's gonna be 3 movies,
Yeah,
that's even
that,
better.
so that's the story that I got
Okay, well, read yours as like a
from
supplement to mine.
From Loudwire. I got mine from Loudwire. I don't know.
Yeah, read that one real quick.
So it said after nearly a decade of waiting, it looks like Metalocalypse may finally be getting the ending it deserves. According to a Facebook post from Adult Swim, the channel just greenlit movies from 3 beloved and canceled shows: Metalocalypse, Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and Venture Brothers. Each movie debuts on both home video and video on demand for 3 months, and then will be streaming free on HBO Max and Adult Swim. And then it gave me a synopsis of 3 films, so I thought it was 3 different ones. You did the Metalocalypse one, and then it
Yeah.
gave me the Venture Brothers, where Doc's latest invention will either bankrupt the Ventures or launch them to a new heights as Hank searches for himself, Dean searches for Hank, the Monarch searches for answers, and a mysterious woman from their past threatens to bring the entire world crashing down on them. The Venture Brothers is created and written and produced by Jackson Public and Doc Hammer. And then Aqua Teen Force is created by Matt Malero and Dave Willis and follows the strange everyday lives of 3 human-sized food products living in New Jersey.
Hmm.
So
So it does still sound like that Metalocalypse is just going to be the one movie though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like there's going to be like those three parts in the same movie, or that's what I'm kind of confused because it said three movies in the thing. So I'm just like, what the hell?
Yeah, but definitely, I'm definitely looking forward to the movie there. So that'll be good.
Yeah, yeah. Either
And
way, hey,
it's
if we
it's
get
about
three,
time.
yeah, if we get three, that's even better. So
That would be even better. Yeah.
yeah, so
Just more episodes like a season 5 or something like that after that. But
yeah. Well,
like I say, like
I was
go ahead.
actually, wanting them to do the one that they were talking about on April Fools was the baby, you know, the baby
Oh yeah.
Metapocalypse, the baby Metapocalypse,
Yeah.
Metapocalypse was it Metapocalypse Junior? I think is what they called it or something.
Yeah, it
But
was.
but that would have been
I
awesome,
remember
dude.
that.
Seeing them as little kids and doing that shit would have been
Yeah.
awesome. Uh,
Yeah. I wonder if they were going to do Metalocalypse Junior. I wonder if Pickles would have still had to do that comb over.
it'd been funny if he was just bald headed altogether.
Yeah, and if Murderface would have had his little mustache.
Oh,
Because I don't know if you remember this. In one episode of Metalocalypse, they had done a flashback about how when Death Clock first signed with Charles to be a manager, they were going up to um, they were going up to Charles's office, and Murderface actually didn't have his mustache in that flashback.
oh wow.
Yeah, so just kind of a little
So
aside there. So
yeah. All right. Well, let's move on with some more good news. Iron Maiden have teamed up
good
with
news.
Brewdog for a new lager, Hellcat. The feisty new 6% ABV India Pale Lager will be brewed in Columbus, Ohio, and is going to be exclusively available in America online and via select retailers later this year. Quote, I've been looking for the perfect partner with whom to bring a fresh, exciting beer to the U.S., Bruce Dickinson tells American Craft Beer. I've long been an admirer of Brewdogs, not just because of their beers, but also of their attitude and style. When I met the Brewdog team, we discovered the respect is mutual and that we could make an undeniably unique beer together. We're thrilled to partner with a world renowned rock band like Iron Maiden, as James White, CEO and co founder of Brewdog. Iron Maiden, like Brewdog, have maintained their spirit of independence throughout their stellar career. Hellcat is a hop forward lager with a goaty, hazy appearance and crisp finish, an epic beer worthy of this massive collaboration. Hellcat is said to have a citrus forward flavor with a epically complex balance of malts and hops. Recently, guitarist Adrian Smith hinted that the band has some very, very exciting things in the pipeline. So that's always good. Oh, sorry. There was more to that story. I'm sorry. I think it'll be worth the wait. Put it like that. As far as the main things go, he teased there are some very, very exciting things in the pipeline. So that's all I can really say right now. But I think the fans are going to be delighted. Um, so you can also catch Iron Maiden on their Legacy of the Beast tour again next year, as they canceled everything this year, of course. Uh,
we hope.
yeah, right. And speaking of canceled tours, I can go on off of that and talk about the Def Leppard and Motley Crue stadium
Oh,
tour.
you just made a segue there, buddy.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I'm getting good at
Yeah. All
this.
right.
But
That
yeah,
was smooth.
so they uh, so they have canceled their tour for the year and going to pick back up next year as well. So of course we've seen a lot of that
Yeah.
with the download festival, and so it's hopefully it's turning around. I know a lot of festivals in the fall are a go, so hopefully everybody can get back to normal next year with all their shows.
Yeah, let's hope so, man. I mean, God, this shit's gotten ridiculous.
Yeah, so I'll actually check out that Iron Maiden brew for you, Chris, because I know you don't drink, so and I'll let you
Yeah,
know how it is.
you'll have to tell me what it tastes like. Yeah, because I won't be I won't be experiencing that firsthand.
Yeah, unless Rob Flynn does a live show, and then tells us about it before. He's good at that.
Oh,
He'll
I guarantee you he would probably beat us to it anyway. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, he's probably on the the VIP list for that. So
Hell, he probably it hasn't even been launched commercially yet, but I bet guys like Rob would have gotten a
oh,
case of it by now anyway.
oh yeah, they already taste tested or something because they said it
Oh
later
yeah,
this year. So if it's coming out later this year, I'm sure all that's been done. So
yeah, yeah.
all right, you got anything else over there? Or you want me to keep
Oh
rolling?
yeah, yeah. I'm messaging Crowley real quick.
Oh, I got you. I got you.
Yeah, yeah. I've got another story. This one is also from blabbermouth.net. This one is cool, and it's also another example of how famous people have it a hell of a lot fucking better than we do. Um, Larson Gallery has announced that rock legend Alice Cooper will sell his prized Andy Warhol at the 2021 Fall Larson Art Auction on October 23rd, 2021. With an estimated value of 2.5 to 4.5 million, the artwork could become the highest selling painting in the state of Arizona. The musician famously rediscovered the piece several years ago in the garage of his Scottsdale, Arizona residence, much to the surprise of the art world and the rocker himself. This silk screen was given to me during some crazy years, and I had completely forgotten I even owned it," said Cooper, who by luck found the painting perfectly preserved. Alice Cooper had an original Andy Warhol in his fucking garage
And
and
didn't know
forgot about it.
it. How do you do that?
Forgot about it.
Oh
A
wow.
potentially $5 million painting, and it
Well, I
was in
mean, he
his
did.
garage.
I mean, he didn't need the
God,
money. He didn't need the money. So
no. But I mean, Jesus Christ. All right, all right. My little diatribe aside there for a second. The story goes on. Story goes on. Says the piece is a vibrant red little electric chair acrylic and silkscreen on canvas from Warhol's Death and Disaster series from 1964 to 65. Warhol's little electric chair is based on a press photo from the 1950s of the death chamber at Sing Sing prison, where Julius and Ethel Rosenberg were executed for conspiring to pass atomic secrets to the Russians. I would say treason is electric chair worthy offense.
oh yeah.
Um, yeah, Warhol used source material from newspapers and police photo archives for this series, which subjects included suicides, car accidents, etc. In the early 1970s, Cooper and Warhol became friends at the famous Max's Kansas City in New York City. Quote, I met Andy Warhol when I lived in New York City, and it was just when I was becoming the scourge of rock and roll. And of course, that attracted the whole Warhol crowd, said Cooper. You'd go to clubs like Max's Kansas City, and they were all there, and we'd hang out. It was a very surreal time. Andy was always taking photographs of everyone or making movies of everyone. He had a whole crowd of people around him all the time, and my girlfriend, Cindy Lang, was really connected into that group. One day a few years ago, I was talking to Dennis Hopper, who said he was selling a couple of his Warhols. I said, wait a minute, I think I have a Warhol somewhere. So I went digging around and I found it, and it was in perfect condition. I mean, it was sort of in a time capsule, and I think Andy would have loved it because he loved doing the time capsule as an art piece in and of itself. So there it was. It had lived by itself for many years. We took it out and had it looked at with the intention of displaying it, but then I just decided it was time to move on, time to release it to the world. I figured I'd had it for all this time and had almost forgotten about it. Let's let someone else really enjoy it. End quote. The longtime Arizona resident selected Scottsdale's Larson Gallery to sell the Andy Warhol in its 2020 Fall Larson Art Auction to be held October 23rd. The Larson Art Auctions have historically sold greater than 90% of lots offered with registered bidders from most every state and more than 40 different countries. The gallery will be donating a portion of its commission to Cooper's nonprofit Solid Rock Foundation, which offers support and community to local teenagers. For more information or to register to bid, yeah, if you got $5 million laying around, to bid for
Yeah,
the
right.
2021 Larson Art Auction, please visit the auction's website at larsonartauction.com or contact the gallery at 480-941-0900. So, again, famous people have it going on a lot better than us.
Yeah. Yeah, seems like we do an auction story like every week. I don't, I don't know why that is, but
Yeah, well, this one isn't one of Eddie Van Halen's guitars, so it's something a little
well, yeah.
different.
So it's something different. Yeah.
Yeah. And the funny thing is I may actually check out that Death and Disaster series that painting was a part of. I bet you that one painting that Alice Cooper has, I bet that's probably not even, it may not even be the coolest one, because if there's other source material like photo archives, you know, all sorts of stuff. Let's see. It says the source material included suicides, car accidents, and etc. There's probably some pretty graphic stuff in there, so it may actually
Oh,
be
okay,
pretty cool
yeah,
to
I'm
check
sure.
out. Yeah, Warhol was a weird one, needless to say.
Well, I mean, most like artists with like painters and stuff like that are so.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Van Gogh and Picasso; they were some strange birds, man.
Oh yeah, they were.
Yeah, we just had, actually I just took the wife to the Picasso exhibit here locally, and man, it's like some of that stuff I was reading. I was like, golly, this dude was like strange. Like,
Right.
I don't think he ever did anything like murderous, but a lot of his paintings were like murder intended for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so here's an interesting story I come across. After splitting from Sepultura, Max Cavalera was set to walk away from the music business until Ozzy Osbourne changed his mind. Max Cavalera was set to walk away from music following his bitter split from Sepultura in 1996 until a conversation with Ozzy Osbourne changed his mind. Speaking for Metal Hammer's My Life in 10 Songs feature, Cavalera revealed how close he was to quitting the music business. While discussing his memories of Eye for an Eye, the first single from his first post Sepultura band Soulfly, that song saved my life pretty much, admits Cavalera, dealing with Max's stepson and Dana's death in a car crash in 1996 and splitting with Sepultura. I was done with music. I was heartbroken, angry, and there had been too many disappointments. Max's wife and manager Gloria was trying to lift me up, but and put me back in the right frame of mind and get me writing again. It was a conversation with one of Cavalera's all-time heroes, Ozzy Osbourne, which ultimately reignited the Brazilian musician's hunger to play music again. Quote, I remember we had a dinner at Ozzy's house, says Cavalera, and he was telling me that when he got kicked out of Black Sabbath, he was very, very discouraged, but it was up to him to get back on his own 2 feet. End quote. Coming from Ozzy, that was mind blowing. Like I have to do it, so I grabbed my guitar and Eye for an Eye just came out of it. It's an important song to me as well because it's one of the songs that got Soulfly signed at Cavalera. We went to New York and met with Roadrunner Records and A&R Supremo Monte Connor, and we played this and another song for him, and he signed Soulfly on the spot. It's one of those songs that I will never be able to write again, and that was from Metal Hammer. I thought it's pretty cool how musicians can do that for each other. I'm sure there's been a lot of stories like that in the past where somebody just wants to walk away and then another musician comes along and brings them back into the to the music world. So, and of course, we're glad Ozzy did that because Max Cavalera is involved in like everything. So,
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's really and it's another example of how inspiration can come out of nowhere. Because I remember a few weeks or a couple months ago, we were talking about how Angus Young came up with Highway to Hell. He basically came up with it while he was taking his shit.
Right.
So I mean, inspiration literally comes from anywhere. So, but it's always a cool story to hear where the song idea comes from. So whether it's on the toilet or it's Ozzy Osbourne giving you the inspiration to keep creating music or whatever, I always like to hear the backstories on that.
So the timing of all that was just like that just happened was so like crazy to me because you were talking about the highway to hell on the toilet, and then I was reading the comments at the same time, and I'm like, that is just buck ass wild right there.
Oh,
So,
I know. Talk about
oh my god.
you know the funny thing is the funny thing is I could see Weird Al Yankovic doing
Doing that,
a
yeah,
doing a parody of that song and calling it Bloody Poots.
yeah, yeah, I could definitely see that.
Oh my God, Crowley, you
Hey,
kill me, buddy.
I'm going to carry on real quick because the next story also includes
Oh
Ozzy
man,
Osbourne. So I'm going to keep the Ozzy news going. Uh, Ozzy Osbourne pays tribute to the life and legacy of the late great Randy Rhoads in a lavish new photo book from top rock photographer Ross Halfin. Former Quiet Riot guitarist Randy Rhoads joined Ozzy's solo band in 1979 at age 22 and co-wrote every song on the 1980s Blizzard of Oz and 81's Diary of a Madman, the two albums which set up Osbourne's post-Sabbath career. On March 19, 1982, while touring Ozzy's second album, Rhodes was tragically killed in a freak accident when a light aircraft in which he was a passenger collided with the band's tour bus. Um, it was weird. Oh, sorry, this is a quote. It's weird. Only knew Randy for a couple of years, but it felt much longer. I felt like I knew him my whole life, says Osborne. I still think about him a lot, and I do wonder what he would be doing now. I owe him a huge amount. He was the beginning of me. He wasn't just my guitarist, he was my friend. He was a monster of a player. What an incredible find he was. Randy was a great player and a good guy. He knew what he wanted and wouldn't stop until he got it, end quote. Featuring an introduction from Ozzy and an epilogue from Rage Against the Machine guitarist Tom Morello. The book will be available in three editions: the standard book, which features the volume and the cloth slim case, as well as a deluxe signed leather edition and super deluxe edition. The latter two editions are autographed by Osborne and Halfin, and the book is now available for pre-order. And that was one of the stories from one of the new places I found called Louder Sound.
nice.
Yes, little hidden stories in these new platforms. I like it.
Yeah, nothing wrong with the hidden gems, whether it be news stories or or songs. Nothing
Right.
wrong with that. Because yeah, we were talking about the hidden gem last night.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, very
Cool.
cool. All right, let's see. I think I've got one more. I think I've got one more story here. Yeah, I got one more. Um, Disturbed bassist John Moyer is engaged to longtime girlfriend Brandy Nicole Hester. The story at blabbermouth.net says the 47-year-old Moyer, who has been a member of Disturbed since 2004, announced the couple's engagement in an Instagram post on Friday, May 14th. He wrote, quote, "My beautiful Brandy and I got engaged while we were in Hawaii. My partner in love, life, and time is now my fiance. Love you, baby," end quote. Moyer and Hester live in Texas and reportedly have two children between the two of them, including his 13-year-old son from a previous relationship. Hester works as an interior designer and stylist serving the Austin, Texas metropolitan and surrounding area. Prior to joining Disturbed, Moyer played in rock bands The Union Underground and Soak, both major label acts hailing from Texas. He has also toured and/or recorded with Adrenaline Mob, Art of Anarchy, and ex-Queensryche singer Jeff Tate. While he is still capable of playing fingerstyle, Moyer prefers picking because it has a more aggressive feeling. In 2011, John released a bass instructional video entitled Modern Metal Bass for Rock House Publishing. 4 years ago, Moyer told therustbeltchronicles.com that the biggest difference in the music business from when he started nearly 3 decades ago until today is that it's a digital world now. Things can be downloaded and bands really don't make the money they used to from CD sales. A band could get signed and make money off of sales back then. Now it's tough to do. Record labels can't really develop talent like they once did. It's kind of sad, really. You can be a great singer-songwriter and not be able to make a decent living off of your talents, end quote. So, John Moyer is going to be getting married relatively soon, which is cool. And I actually got to meet John Moyer a few years ago at the Nashville airport.
Oh, nice.
We were actually dropping our kids off to go up to Philadelphia, and I was walking through the terminal, and I actually saw him sitting at one of the gates, and I stopped by real quick to shake his hand and tell him I was a fan, and he said thank you, and then I kind of kept on walking. I didn't want to be that guy who lingered and bothered somebody, but I
Right.
just wanted to just say hey and that I was a fan and all that good stuff. So yeah, that was pretty cool. It was kind of a chance encounter there, so it's kind of neat. So
Yeah.
and I know that this story sets you up for another smooth
It
segue.
does. It does.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, that was very fast. A mere weeks after making their relationship public, Andrew WK and actress Kat Dennings have announced their engagement. Earlier this month, the duo started posting photos of themselves being all lovey-dovey on social media. Lovey-dovey all the time.
Yeah.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Steve Miller, for that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Steve Miller Band, for that joke. Yeah. Yeah. Not heavy metal, but great lead in for a joke. So thank you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yesterday, the duo both shared photos of the engagement ring and the emoji, leading fans to put two and two together. If you see any of the photos on social media, you can also check out that Andrew is still sporting a killer Casio G-Shock watch. Imagine that. I wonder if it's got a calculator on it. Congratulations,
Probably.
yeah, congratulations to both of those, both of them anyway. So it's awesome. Hopefully, many years of happiness for those two. Alright. And then also had a news about Sin Querin quitting ministry. The guitarist who had played with the industrial metal pioneers on and off since 2007 confirmed his split with ministry in a post on his personal Facebook page earlier yesterday. He wrote, quote, "Hey everyone, I hope you're having a great Friday. I wanted to let you all know something that's been on my mind for a while. I decided to step down from ministry. I'm in a much different place in my life right now, and I feel the time is right for me to focus on my health, my personal life, as well as other personal projects and interests. Ministry will always be family to me. They all know I love them very much, and I want nothing but the best for them and much success. Thank you for your continued support, everyone. I love you all." End quote. Aquarius' exit from ministry comes less than a year and a half after he was accused by two women of engaging in sexual intercourse with them while they were 15 and 16 years old. In a spin report published on Billboard, both women alleged that they each met Quinn following concerts by his band Society One, which predated his time in ministry. Though his attorney Quinn denied, uh, through his attorney, Quinn denied ever having had any sexual relationships with anyone underage or of majority. The attorney also claimed that Ministry's Al Jurgensen was unaware of any of potential nefarious activity by any member of Ministry during their respective tenures with the band, including but not limited to Mr. Sin Quern. Last month, Quern's three-headed state project released a new single, Tyrants. Sin is joined in a group by former Ministry drummer Derek Abrams, guitarist Diego Ashes Ibarra of Devil Driver, and vocalist Johnny Ray and bassist D.V. Karloff. That was from Blabbermouth.
Yeah,
So
I actually
ministry,
saw that. I actually saw that story this morning too. Yeah.
so I guess Ministry will be looking for a new guitarist there.
Oh, I don't think Al Jorgensen will have any trouble finding a guy to step
Oh,
in.
oh no, I'm sure. I got one more that I know you're gonna love. Let's see
Oh, awesome.
if I can find the beginning of it. I done got stuff. I done got stuff through everywhere over here. I might have whacked. Here we go. Uh, so this is the one we wanted to wait till last because I think we're going to be talking about it for a good second.
Oh, yeah, I
uh,
know where this is going. I know where this is
uh,
going. Yep. And
so
yeah,
with
this one's gonna take a minute. Yeah.
with nominees such as Iron Maiden and Rage Against the Machine missing out on being inducted into this year's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, CEO Greg Harris has defended a frequent talking point about the lack of heavy metal artists being included. Greg told Odyssey Music in a new video interview that, quote, "It's an interesting one because we do celebrate metal. We celebrate all forms of rock and roll. We nominated Maiden, Judas Priest have been nominated in the past, and we put Def Leppard in. Those that are nominated, over 80% of them eventually do get inducted," he continued. "So it's really a question of let's keep nominating them. Let's get them on the ballot, and let's get it out to the voting body. This ballot had 16 artists on it. They just can't all go in." End quote. Greg added that they were all incredible bands and that are truly worthy of nomination and truly worthy of consideration. As Blabbermouth notes, Judas Priest and Motorhead also haven't made it into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as of yet, as either. And in February 2021, Twisted Sisters Dee Snyder tweeted that the Rock and Roll committee members looked down on metal. The quote was, "R&R committee members are arrogant, elitist assholes who look down on metal and other bands that sell millions because we're not their definition of cool," he said. "The fan vote is they're throwing a bone to the peasants. I want to say fuck you, but I want them to still have to deal with us." And we all agree with you there. That was also a story from Kerrang.
Wholeheartedly. Yeah.
That was a story from Kerrang as well. And like dug into some of that too, and I still can't believe people like Ted Nugent, Dio, all those bands have been around forever, and they're still not in. That doesn't make sense to me. I'm just like, I mean, especially with Priest and Maiden, they've been around 40 plus years, and you can't get in, but you got somebody that's wrapped for 25. I don't get that. So,
Well, it doesn't. To me, it doesn't even matter how long a rapper's career has been. It's the
yeah, he don't belong in
it's
there.
the
Period.
fact it's the fact that it's a rapper. I mean, you just mentioned in the story that the guy was talking about they had 16 artists. They had 16 artists on the ballot this year. Yeah, well, that's all well and good, but just off the top of my head, you had LL Cool J, you had Jay-Z, and you had Mary J. Blige. Why were they anywhere even near this ballot?
Right.
Look, no disrespect to those three artists, but we're talking about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's in the fucking name. It's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I know that I posted the other day on the Metalheads Unite Facebook page. Jay-Z was literally the last place guy in the fan vote. He didn't even have 150,000 total votes. And Tina Turner got damn near 6 million. Tina Turner deserves to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Right.
So if anybody out there wants to say that it's about race, it's not. I'm gonna stop anybody talking about race. I'm gonna stop it right there because Tina Turner sure as fuck deserves to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Jay-Z, LL Cool J, Mary J. Blige, not so much. This has nothing to do with race. Nothing at all. It has everything to do with the music. You wouldn't see, and Jason, I know we talked about this last night at length, so
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll get into it like we did last night, but it would be like there would be a hip hop Hall of Fame and Anthrax getting inducted just because they did Bring the Noise with Public Enemy.
Right.
I mean,
Or or or
that would be bullshit for that Hall of Fame because does not one song should not make them eligible for the Hip Hop Hall of Fame. And I would totally be in agreement with hip hop fans who are like, why is Anthrax in there? I'd be like, you got a damn good point.
right. And I agree with that too. I mean, you can even go as far as Aerosmith going in because they did Walk This Way. Well,
Exactly,
yeah,
same
but
thing. It wouldn't
but
make
Run
any sense.
yeah, but Run DMC also made a hit out of that. So I mean,
Right, but
if they yeah,
Run DMC is also a rap group.
right. So
And
if they
then
got in that, then
that one song didn't make Run DMC's career. So
exactly.
if there was a hip hop Hall of Fame, Run DMC would have been a first ballot inductee anyway.
No, we would have
So
loved to.
it's just yeah, it's true. So I mean,
But
I don't
so they
get it. It's not.
So we've talked
Oh,
about this before too. I don't know why they can't. If they want to do that, that's fine. But at least have a different wing of all this for an R&B wing or a rap wing or whatever, and put you know your 5 or 6 or whatever you put in that section, and then give us our damn 5 people that are in rock and roll. You know,
yeah. So I mean, we probably could just rant about this for a while, but I just have a huge issue with it. You know, and we've talked about this before, you and I, like I've said, if they wanted to call it the Music Hall of Fame,
right?
there you go. I mean, have it, music. Music is all encompassing, of course. But when you break it down that far, it's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Well, I mean,
Rappers shouldn't be there. It would be for comparison, it would be like the Pro Football Hall of Fame having Pele in there
Right.
because the rest of the world calls soccer football.
Exactly.
You know, it would be the exact same thing. It just doesn't fit.
Yeah,
It
I
just doesn't
don't.
fit.
Yeah, I think that the problem lies within the Rock and Roll committee members. I don't know who all they are, but we do know Edge is one of them, and I know he didn't vote the way that it went. So uh, it's ridiculous. I don't, like I said, you got these people with like 40-year plus careers in the metal industry, and like you said, Motorhead, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden. I mean, all these band Dio. I mean, have been around for so long. They go, I mean, look, Lemmy and Ronnie James are dead, and they didn't even get to enjoy being inducted. So even if they do get inducted, those guys, never. I'm sure it didn't matter to either one of those guys, just to be honest with you. but I mean, they didn't get that. They didn't get that celebration, and that's just what sucks. It's just,
Well, and well, yeah, and it sucks. I mean, Randy Rhodes finally got in this year, but he died damn near 40 years ago. So, I
right.
mean, what took so goddamn long? And even Bruce Dickinson has said that he thinks that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is a bunch of bollocks, and that's a quote from him. He actually said that.
Yeah.
And and I mean, just with stuff like this, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people like they read the stories from D. Snyder, and you and we talked about Todd Latore this morning.
Right.
Posted a story slamming the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I'm sure a lot of people will see those stories and they'll just equate it to sour grapes, and that's all well and good. That's their opinion. If they want to think that that's what it is, it's just a bunch of sour grapes. They're free to do that, but at the same time, you and I are also free to sit here and say that Jay Z has no business being in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So to us, it just
Exactly.
doesn't make to us it doesn't make any sense. It'll never make any sense. You know, if you're going to keep it the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and you're going to keep having this be the way that it goes as far as your inductees, you're going to get slammed every year. And I think every story slamming your organization is warranted.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you said. I mean, it's like it's a freaking. They did it to themselves though. They make their sales a joke because of inducting what they do. I mean,
Hmm.
it
Oh yeah, it's
so
definitely
so
self-inflicted.
to me the hip hop R&B industry is big enough on its own to have their own rock Hall of Fame, no doubt in my mind. I mean,
Well, as
you
far as
know,
as far as I know, there is an R&B Hall of Fame already. I think there is an R&B
mm.
Hall of
Yeah.
Fame for
So
them.
why not include the people that are in that category into that Hall of Fame and not in the Rock and Roll Hall? I don't get that.
Right. So
If it's
I don't know. I
yeah,
mean,
you
I
can't
mean,
say well it's about diversity because guess what? All that diversity that you're talking about is in metal already. So
right. Yeah. So I mean, but you can't with the name of the organization being the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, you still have plenty of diversity. You have Jimi Hendrix. I don't know if In Living Color is in there yet, but they should be. And I know that there's tons of other artists in there who are African American, or there's plenty of female artists in there. So I mean, there's already
yeah,
diversity. So
yeah,
I I don't know if I was Jay Z or if I was LL Cool J, if I would kind of feel a touch insulted in a weird way, because it's like, all right, I'm not a rock and roll guy, and if you're
right.
just adding me to your Hall of Fame to be token, I would part of me I think would feel kind of insulted. And yeah, Crowley, exactly. Seven Dust will probably be in there at some point too. LaJohn Witherspoon, he deserves to be in there. You probably, I mean, Derek Green, his career, he would probably deserve to be in the Hall of Fame at some point. And I'll be damned if Howard Jones doesn't make it to the Hall of Fame one of these days. That place needs to be burned to the ground.
Yeah. Like there was a good thing. It's Crowley said every year I can't wait to see who gets shit on. That's about the truth. I mean, you know that they're going to do some stupid ass shit and not let the people that deserve to be in there in there. Like, not saying that all of them don't deserve to be in there, but the people that we know have been pioneers for years and years and years deserve to be in there.
Well, and it's like I said, three of the five uh, artists who were in the fan vote. You know, Tina Turner, she won. The Go Go's were in third, and the Foo Fighters were in fifth. So I mean, those are the three of the top five um, the fan vote artists that actually made it. And yeah, I have no problem with those three artists being there. But you know, like we talked about last night, Fela Kuti, that I can't even remember. I mean, I remember he was from Nigeria, and I don't exactly remember what style of music he played, but he was leading the fan vote for a long time. And it wasn't up until like the last month that Tina Turner passed him and then pulled away. So, I mean, he was leading the fan vote forever. And then Iron Maiden was in fourth, you know, so it just boggles my mind that they didn't make it, you know. And then I don't remember the rest of the list. Um, but you know, there were other, because I mean there were other artists who didn't do well in the fan vote that should have been in there over Jay-Z and LL Cool J. You know, I mean,
Yep.
I think the New York Dolls was one of them. The New York Dolls, they probably should have gone
Right.
in ahead of LL Cool J and Jay-Z. I think I don't have the list in front of me anymore, and I tried to look it up on the Rock Hall's website, and they don't have the results anymore. The results are over a week old now, so they don't have them posted anymore. I just remember who the top five was, and I remember who from the top five didn't make it. Iron Maiden, obviously, being the most prevalent artist that didn't make it,
Mm-hmm.
who is actually the focus of everyone's ire right now.
Right. Yeah. Man, like I said, we could gripe about this for probably days.
Crowley said Kanye is the greatest rock and roll
Yeah.
star of all time.
Yeah. Well, according to Kanye, yeah,
Yeah.
he's a rock and roll Jesus.
Yeah, I think you're right, Crowley. Because after Kanye gets inducted, because you know he will. It's fucking coming. You know he will. After they induct Kanye, they'll have to just lock the doors and never open the place again. Because I mean, after that, who else do you induct?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm gonna let you finish, but I'm the best. I'm the best. I'm gonna give you the best Hall of Fame speech ever.
Well, he'll probably have to interrupt somebody else's acceptance speech to do it, though.
Yeah. Well, let's just pray to freaking God that it's Zach Wild that he gets
Zach Wild, exactly. Hell yeah.
it.
Oh man. Oh.
I think Zach made his intentions well known that if that happened, what was going to happen. So,
Yeah. If there is anything right and just and fair in this world, Kanye and Black Label Society will be on the ballot the same year, whenever that would be. I hope they're
yeah,
on the ballot the very same year.
that would be awesome. uh, we might make an exception and let Kanye, slide that year just to see what happens. uh, right. So I was looking and just noticed that the final lineup for Louder Than Life has been posted.
And
That's in
it's a
Louisville.
doozy.
It is a great one, yeah. Louisville, Kentucky, September 23rd through the 26th at the Highland Festival grounds at the Expo Center there in Kentucky. You're looking at Corn, Stain, Cypress Hill, Anthrax, Beartooth, Seven Dust, Not Loose, Wage War Helmet. I ain't heard those guys in a long time. Escape the Fate, Nine Inch Nails. Of course, they got to put Snoop Dogg and Machine Gun Kelly in there, but
Oh, you know what? You know
it
what?
is what it is.
I could deal with Snoop Dogg, but Machine Gun Kelly can fuck right off.
Yeah, just because you play Tommy Lee, don't give you a right to be there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know if you've seen it or not, but I think Machine Gun Kelly is trying to go metal, and ugh.
Oh yeah, I think I've heard that. I haven't like heard anything, but I have heard that was what he was aiming for next. So man, we'll see.
Yeah, yeah, and that's going to be a hard pass for me.
Yeah. To carry on though, we have Asking Alexandria, Code Orange, Iceland Kills, Spirit Box, Butcher Babies, Diamante. Also, Metallica's doing a double headliner on Friday and Sunday, two different sets. That's what they were supposed to do last year, so they got them to come back to do that again this year, which is pretty awesome. And you got Jane's Addiction, Rise Against, Gojira, Killswitch Engage, Starset Avatar, uh, Judas Priest, Mudvayne, Seether, Pennywise, Skillet, Sabaton, The Who, not The Who, HU.
Oh yeah, those guys from Mongolia. Yeah, yeah,
Matt
yeah, yeah.
Lauer, Bossy from Ashes to New, and
Mongolia. Yeah.
many more. But yeah, it's a decent lineup. I'd go just for Sunday. Just you got Metallica, Judas Priest, Mudvayne, Skillet, Fozzy. That's a pretty good Sabaton. I mean, all on the same day. Pretty heavily favored, I would say.
Yeah, that's going to be a hell of a bill.
Yeah. And I'm still watching this Blue Ridge Festival because that's the one I want to go to, just mainly because of Megadeth's tours there now, and we didn't get to see that here in Nashville, so
Yeah.
want to definitely get out there to see that. And of course, you have Testament, Anthrax, Fozzy, Iceland Kills, Motionless in White, Kill Switch Engage, Light the Torch, Seven Dust, Papa Roach, Shinedown, Five Finger Death Punch. I mean, it's a pretty lit lineup too. So I mean,
I mean,
not
I mean
not
that
taking
that
away.
that. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just saying, not taking nothing away from the Louder in Life. I would definitely check that one out too. I just like going somewhere different when I go to these things, just to get a different feel, a different environment. So I've been to the one at Louder in Life. Just heads up, if it's windy, just be aware. It's a little dusty out there, so yeah, kick up some dirt. So
Yeah, that Blue Ridge Festival is shaping up to be a who isn't going to be there. That's actually going to be a
right,
shorter list.
yeah, yeah, it's definitely. Of course, Mushroom Head did announce they had to pull out. They pulled out all their 2021
Wait, wait, wait,
tour
wait, wait,
dates.
wait.
Yeah,
Did you just say Mushroom Head had to pull out?
yeah, I did. I did. You catch that? I like it.
Oh God, I'm sorry to interrupt you there, but I couldn't let that go. I couldn't let it
uh,
go.
I was trying to like get past it, but as soon as I said it, I thought, man, that's
Uh-uh.
actually.
Oh no, 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 sir.
Well, I knew if you didn't,
Th-
Crowley would catch it in the comments. So,
That's true. That's true.
uh,
That's true. He probably caught it quicker than me. Just couldn't type that fucking
yeah,
fast.
right. Uh, oh
uh,
man, we're gonna kick it over into birthdays since we're still talking about the
oh
to
shit.
this week's news. May 9th,
Yeah.
we had Dave Gahan, a vocalist for Depeche Mode, and of course Andrew WK. May 10th, we had Sid Vicious, that was the bassist for Sex Pistols. He died in 1979, unfortunately. We also had Danny Carey, drummer for Tool. May 11th, we had Christopher Schneider, drummer for Ramstein, or Stein, however you want to say it. I don't guess they freaking care, but. And then I'm going to try not to butcher this, but I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to, but it's Pertu Kivalaxo. They're the cellist for Apocalyptica. So of course they're all Finnish. So
Right.
uh, May 12th, you have Billy Squire, singer, songwriter, and guitarist. Grew up listening to Billy. Great stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Eric Singer, drummer for Kiss. Billy Duffy, guitarist for the Cult. Then May 13th, we had Chuck Schuldiner, singer, songwriter, and guitarist for Death. He died in 2001. Lee Altus, guitarist for Heathen and Exodus, two of our favorite bands.
Yes.
May 14th, we had C.C. DeVille, guitarist of Poison, Ian Asbury, singer and songwriter of The Cult, and Mike Inez, bassist for Alice in Chains, Eric Peterson, guitarist for Testament, and Paul Shortino, vocalist for King Cobra, Rough Cut, and Quiet Riot. So happy birthday to all of those. And if anybody I missed, I apologize. Happy birthday to you as well. But man, have you seen CC DeVille?
Dude, CC DeVille looked like cheese back in the freaking 90s, man.
I, I seen a picture of him and I thought I wanted to give him a quarter. I thought he had a can out there or something. I was like,
He probably
I'm
did.
like, I'm like,
He probably
Jesus,
did.
dude. Like,
Yeah,
man,
yeah,
he looked
some
rough. He
dudes
looked rough. He
looks like
like Cruella
Cruella de
DeVille.
look.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's probably more accurate. Cruella DeVille, not
Right.
CC DeVille.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, some people just age like milk, and he's one of them.
Yeah, he did not age very well at all. And of course,
Yeah.
he was considered the pretty one out of the glam metal band Poison. So
Oh my God.
yeah, well, not anymore.
No.
uh,
You know the funny thing about CC DeVille is like if you ever go back and you watch any of those Poison videos, his damn guitar was as big as he was.
that is true. He is a little guy. So want to see him play one of Steve Vai's double neck ones or something.
Oh yeah.
All right, so I think we're ready to move on to this week in metal
To
history.
Yes, this week in metal history. Awesome. All right, this week in metal history. All right, brought to you by This Day in Metal over at Twitter and on Facebook. Go check out Metalhead Marv over there at This Day in Metal on Twitter, or like I say on Facebook. I follow Marv on predominantly on Facebook because I'm not on Twitter. But you can pull up his Twitter page. You just can't interact with it unless you have a Twitter account. Anyway, leading off with May 8th, 2000, Iron Maiden releases the single for The Wicker Man, and Nightwish releases Wishmaster. May 8th, 1990, Bruce Dickinson releases his first solo album, Tattooed Millionaire. May 8th, 1997, Megadeth releases the single Trust, which peaked at number 5 on the Billboard Mainstream Rock Tracks chart and is actually probably one of my top 5 favorite Megadeth songs. Um, Amon Amarth releases The Crusher, and I'm sorry, I moved ahead a day. Sorry. 5/8, May 8th, 2001, Amon Amarth releases The Crusher. Falconer releases their debut album, Falconer, self-titled debut album, and Lost Horizon releases their debut album, Awakening the World. May 8th, 1981, Samson releases Shock Tactics, which was Bruce Dickinson's last album with the band before joining Iron Maiden. And Ozzy Osbourne and Motorhead played the Cambria County War Memorial Arena in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Ozzy and Motorhead on a bill together. That was probably one hell of a show. So, yeah. Moving ahead to May 8th, 2007, Immolation releases Shadows in the Light. May 8th, 2020, Green Carnation releases Leaves of Yesteryear. May 8th, 2012, Cattle Decapitation releases Monolith of Inhumanity. And May 8th, 1991, Rigor Mortis releases Rigor Mortis versus the Earth. Moving ahead to the 9th, May 9th, 2013, Iron Maiden's The Trooper beer is officially launched. May 9th, 1996, Asphyx releases God Cries. May 9th, 2000, Incantation releases The Infernal Storm. May 9th, 1995, Morbid Angel releases Domination. Souls at Zero releases A Taste for the Perverse. And St. Vitus releases Die Healing. May 9th, 1994, Yngwie Malmsteen releases The Seventh Sign. And May 9th, 2014, Killer Be Killed releases their self-titled debut album. Moving ahead to the 10th, May 10th, 1984, Twisted Sister releases Stay Hungry, which peaked at number 15 on the Billboard 200. May 10th, 1985, Gravedigger releases Witch Hunter. May 10th, 2019, Whitesnake releases Flesh and Blood, and Possessed releases Revelations of Oblivion. May 10th, 2011, Anvil releases Juggernaut of Justice, and Hate Eternal releases Phoenix Amongst the Ashes. May 10th, 1989, Shark Island releases their major label debut, Law of the Order. I never even heard of Shark Island until I wrote this down. I never even knew there was a
I haven't
band.
either.
Yeah, I never even knew that was a band.
Well, that's worth checking out, I guess.
I guess it would be. Moving ahead to the 11th, May 11th, 1992, Iron Maiden releases Fear of the Dark. May 11th, 1989, Accept releases Eat the Heat, which peaked at number 139 on the Billboard 200. Badlands releases their self-titled debut album, and Stratovarius releases their debut album, Fright Night. Let's see. May 11th, 1987, Rage releases Execution Guaranteed, and Bathory releases Under the Sign of the Black Mark. May 11th, 2004, Dragon Force releases Sonic Firestorm. May 11th, 1996, Morbid Angel releases the Entangled in Chaos live album. May 11th, 2018, Trauma releases As the World Dies. And if you guys don't remember, Trauma is the band that brought us Cliff Burton. May 11th, 1993, Panic releases Fact. Moving ahead to the 12th, May 12th, 1988, Megadeth releases the single for Mary Jane. May 12th, 1986, Rage releases their debut album Reign in Fear, and Holy Moses releases their debut album Queen of Siam. May 12th, 2008, Iron Maiden releases Somewhere Back in Time, the best of 1980 to 1989, which is a fantastic greatest hits album. Are you kidding me? May 12th, 1992, Typo Negative releases The Origin of the Feces. Gross. May 12th, 1989, Morbid Angel releases their debut album Altars of Madness. May 12th, 2003, Helloween releases Rabbit Don't Come Easy. And May 12th, 1995, Meshuggah releases Destroy, Erase, Improve. Moving ahead to the 13th, May 13th, 1991, Razor releases Open Hostility. May 13th, 2016, Grand Magus releases Sword Songs, and Destruction releases Under Attack. May 13th, 1977, Ted Nugent releases Cat Scratch Fever. May 13th, 2002, Sentenced releases The Cold White Light, which I actually own that CD. It's a fantastic album. And if you've never heard of Sentenced, I highly recommend everybody check them out. They're actually a band out of Finland, and I have actually quite a few of their CDs. I think I have actually like 6 or 7 of their CDs downstairs in my collection, and I think they're a very underrated band coming out of Europe.
Dude, you're holding out on me. Like, you never told me this. Like,
did I not?
No.
No. Well, there you go. So.
Yeah. But now I have homework to do. So
yeah, we'll have to check out some of their stuff. But yeah, let's see. Also on May 13th of 2002, Rage releases Unity. May 13th, 2003, Chimera releases The Impossibility of Reason. Moving ahead to the 14th, May 14th, 1991, Armored Saint releases Symbol of Salvation, and Accuser releases Double Talk. May 14th, 1985, Mad Butcher releases their debut album Metal Lightning Attack. May 14th, 2012, Mastery releases their debut album In the Key of Kill. May 14th, 1986, Death Row releases their debut album Riders of Doom. May 14th, 1987, Bruce Dickinson releases Accident of Birth. May 14th, 1996, Amorphous releases Elegy. May 14th, 2010, Pretty Maids releases Pandemonium, which debuted at number 83 on the German album chart. And then moving ahead to the 15th, May 15th, 2001, Megadeth releases The World Needs a Hero, which peaked at number 16 on the Billboard 200. That was a pretty good Megadeth album, too, I must say. May 15th, 1989, Napalm releases their debut album Cruel Tranquility. May 15th, 1990, Sacred Reich releases The American Way. And May 15th, 2017, Slanderous releases the EP Walls of the Mind. And I will probably have more releases for May 15th after the show, which I will lead off with those on next week's show. So those are the historical releases from May 8th to the first part of May 15th.
Yeah. So what was the title again? You said something about some feces on one of the titles.
Yeah, it was. Let's see. It was from May 12th, 1992. It was Typo Negative's band The Origin of the Feces.
Yeah, goes back to the bloody poops. This has
been a really shitty episode.
Yeah, it has been a shitty episode. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Dude, you said something about there was something about a rabbit too that I was seeing.
Oh yeah, that was one of Halloween's albums. Yeah, May 12th, 2003. It was one of Halloween's albums called Rabbit Don't Come Easy.
Yeah. Then somebody said it was hard to catch a rabbit, so
Yeah, it is.
Wow. Uh, so I got a couple of stories, not a lot. So luckily we're about like right on schedule for what we usually run into our albums anyway.
Right.
So awesome. Um, I have on May 10th, 1986, Motley Crue drummer Tommy Lee married TV star Heather Locklear in a courtyard in Santa Barbara, California, with 500 guests. Tommy wore a white leather tuxedo, and like we care more about what she was wearing. I don't know why they put that in there, but
Yeah, I'd be more
um,
interested in what she wasn't wearing.
exactly. Yeah, she was definitely a hottie from that day. That's for sure.
Used
Uh,
to be.
yeah. Uh, all right, May 10th, 2013, a 2 year degree in heavy metal music was branded an easy option by education campaigners. The foundation degree was being offered by New College, Nottingham in the UK. The course, which was due to start later that year, would include modules on the music business, the history of heavy metal, and its role in films and video games, and would show students how to compose and perform heavy metal songs. Jesus Christ, I wish they had that when I was in high school. That'd been awesome.
Are you kidding?
Uh,
That'd have been the only class I would have taken.
right. Skipped everything else.
Yeah, I would have. Yeah.
May 11th, 2011, one of the rarest rock t shirts in the world sold for $10,000, the largest sum ever paid for a vintage t shirt. The record setting sale was of a 1979 Led Zeppelin t shirt on eBay and was sold by Kyle Irma, Irma Manager of Storm Crow Vintage. The recent completion of the transaction placed the purchase as the world's rarest and most expensive vintage T-shirt. Wow, that's just ridiculous for a T-shirt, but somebody's got money and is a collector, I guess. So. Hmm.
Yeah.
May 14th, 2013, it was reported that Kiss planned to open over 100 restaurants in North America. The band, who had just opened the third branch of Rock and Brews in the greater Los Angeles area, said that they wish to open 100 more in the next 5 years. The band planned to open new branches at LAX Airport in Los Angeles, Maui in Hawaii, and Kansas City, Missouri over the coming years. Kind of interested to see if that ever played out. So.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's something Gene Simmons could make $1 off of, I'm sure he did it. So,
Yeah, I know that in the live chat here, Crowley said something about he was surprised that Gene Simmons hasn't tried to sell one of his nut hairs yet.
oh yeah, yeah. If he probably painted up and everything just like him, and sell it.
Yeah.
May 15th, 1997, Courtney Love sold the Seattle mansion that she shared with Kurt Cobain. A local family purchased the house in the salubrious Denny Blaine area for $3 million. It doesn't sound like a lot of money nowadays. You see what these stars buy now. It's, or $3 million probably hitting a big house anymore compared to some of the stuff they're buying now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure, the house only sold for $3 million because you gotta clean all the blood stains out of the garage and all the crabs out of the
Oh my
carpet, the rest of the
god!
house.
Yeah. Hmm.
What, too
Well,
soon?
yeah. Actually it was. I think that we did that story a week or so ago where we were talking about that, and then the part that he killed himself in was tore down. So,
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
but you still got the crabs to deal with. 'Cause I'm sure.
Yeah, that's a lot worse.
Yeah.
That's a lot worse.
Uh,
I think I'd rather have the gray matter stains than the crabs.
oh God. Uh,
Maybe that's just me.
I mean, so yeah, that's
Did I get you with that one, Jason?
yeah. I usually don't get speechless, but that was pretty good. Uh, oh man, Crowley said he wished someone would buy his underwear. Oh
Hmm.
man,
Interesting.
they probably pay you to keep them.
Might be
All
more
right,
money in that.
yeah, right. Uh, so yeah, that's. I guess we can move on into our album reviews of the week. Uh,
Yeah, we can go ahead and we can do that. All right, I'll go ahead and go first this week. I only managed to I only managed to be able to listen to one album in its entirety this week. I went ahead and listened to Zeitgeister by Caliban. Caliban is a metalcore band that formed in 1997 in Essen, Germany. Their lyrical themes include inner struggles, society, love, and relationships. So they've been around for quite a while. They've got one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. This new album, Zeitgeister, is actually their 12th full length studio album. So they've been around a while, and they've been relatively busy. Their debut album, A Small Boy and a Gray Heaven, came out in 1999. Their second album, Vent, came out in 2001. Shadow Hearts came out in 2003. The Opposite From Within came out in 2004. The Undying Darkness came out in 2006. The Awakening in 2007. Say Hello to Tragedy in 2009. I Am Nemesis in 2012. Ghost Empire in 2014. Gravity in 2016. Elements in 2018. And then the new one, Zeitgeister, in 2021. Let's see, the band members. You've got Mark Gortz on lead guitar. You have Andreas Dorner on vocals. Dennis Schmidt, guitar and vocals as well. You have Patrick Grun on drums and Marco Schaller on bass. Um, Zeitgeister is a 9 track album. Technically, it's 8 if you don't include the 1 minute and 18-second introduction. Which, Jason, I know you and I, we don't technically count a lot of those, but
Right.
yeah. So Zeitgeister is actually the title track, and it's just a 1 minute and 18-second introduction. So that's kind of weird that that would have been the title track, but so that one leads off. Then you have Trauma at 3 minutes and 19 seconds. Some of these I'm going to butcher because they're in German, so you'll have to let me slide on these. So you have track number 3 is Hertz at 3:29. Track number 4 is Ausbruch nach innen at 5:01. Track number 5 is Feuer sei mit mir at 3:44. Track number 6 is Nix ich für immer at 3:46. You have track number 7 is Intolerance at 3:42. Track number 8 is Mein Inferno at 3:40. And track number 9 is Nix at 4:06. So I don't know if there are any. I don't know if there are any German listeners out there who could tell me how badly I pronounced some of that, and I'm really sorry about that. So I tried. I tried my best, but I don't sprechen Sie Deutsch. So you know, you'll have to let me slide on those. I did my best. Um, the album, the album, the album wasn't too bad. I'm usually not the biggest fan of metalcore. For a lot of times, for me, metalcore it starts to kind of like blend together, and there's not a whole lot of differentiation between a lot of songs with a lot of metalcore bands, which I guess isn't the worst thing. But then I find that when I listen to a lot of metalcore albums, they get I hate to say boring, but when you're trying to listen to 10 or 12 songs, and after like track 7 or 8 they all start to sound the same to you, it kind of gets a little tedious, I guess. So there was a little bit of that in this album. There were some good riffs in there, though. I will give them that. There were some good guitar riffs in there, which I don't know. A lot of metal. Again, this is just for me. A lot of metalcore, when it starts to sound the same, uh, you really don't get a whole lot of differentiation in the guitar riffs. But there was a little more. There was a little more of a guitar riff dynamic in some of this. Unfortunately for me, there were a couple of songs where they went off in a couple different directions. There was one song where it almost sounded, and I don't remember which one, and I'm sorry, but I was listening to this album while I was mowing the lawn, so I wasn't able to take note of which tracks were which, but I was basically just trying to listen to the overall composition of some of the songs. One of the songs went off in one direction when it almost sounded like they were trying to be the German version of Linkin Park. Um, so yeah. And I'm not talking about Hybrid Theory or Meteora Linkin Park. So I'm not talking about like the good Linkin Park.
Oh, you're talking about
I'm kind
Transformers
of
Linkin Park.
I'm talking about like late Linkin Park when they kind of like fell off a cliff for me. So and then there was another song where like the second half of it they sounded like 30 Seconds to Mars. And
Oh God.
I mean we don't even need 30 Seconds to Mars in English, let alone in German. So I definitely could have done without that. So I was kind of hoping for I was kind of hoping for a little more diversity with this album, when you consider the language barrier with it being in German. Um, I mean, I didn't expect it to be like a clone of Rammstein or Null Positive. I'm sure a lot of these German bands, of course, Caliban's been around for a while, but I'm sure that a lot of German bands, especially the German metal bands, they're kind of like, don't sound like Rammstein, don't sound like Rammstein,
You're
don't
right.
sound like Rammstein. No one wants to be pigeonholed as like a Rammstein clone, because I'm sure Rammstein is probably arguably the most famous band to come out of Germany. Maybe not of all time, but I'm sure lately they are. So I'm sure they don't want to. I'm sure nobody wants to be pigeonholed as like a Rammstein ripoff. So I was kind of hoping for a little more diversity that would have kind of pulled me in and kept my attention, considering the language barrier. So I'm going to give this a 2.5 horns out of 5. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. Like I say, there was some good stuff in there musically. They went off in a couple strange directions on a couple of the songs that I didn't really care for. This is one of those albums that I would listen to, like if it came on Spotify or Pandora or something. I would, but I wouldn't necessarily go out of my way. So they did have some good stuff. I wouldn't be opposed to checking out some of their older stuff, because I don't know if they kept with the exact same musical style all the way throughout their career. Even though they are a metalcore band, I wouldn't be opposed to hearing some of their earlier stuff. So that was the only, but like I say, that was the only album I was able to listen to in full. I there was another album I was going to try to listen to by Seventh Crystal was one that caught my attention for some reason. Probably just
I
another one of
got you.
those bands that I've never heard of before. Um, but their album Delirium, I tried downloading that. I wasn't actually able to do that. So there was like 3 or 4 singles that they had put out on YouTube that I listened to, and honestly, not really a huge fan. They are way too melodic for my taste. I do like some melodic metal. I don't mind metal with the melodic aspects in it, but I think they went way too far in the melodic direction for me. I think only one of the 4 songs was really heavy at all, and I don't remember the name of it. The other 2 were a little too ballady, which it
Well,
isn't a bad thing. There's nothing. I mean, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with a good power ballad. I'm a sucker for a good power ballad, but I think
yeah,
overall, this band's style was just a little too melodic for me. Like I say, I didn't get a chance to listen to the album in its entirety, so
I
that's
would
that was the only new music I really got to listen to this week.
I would agree with that about Seventh Crystal. I actually did listen to the whole thing, and that's kind of my take on it as well. They are considered like arena rock. They're based out of Sweden, so there's there's a little bit of why you may not have been in touch with it. So, uh,
Yeah,
and then I have to I may have to argue with you a little bit about Rammstein being like the most famous German band, because there is a little band from way back called the Scorpions that I think maybe a little bit more.
right. Well, I mean, I said that they probably weren't the most famous German metal band of all time, but I mean,
They probably are of
so
the modern era, no doubt.
yeah, that's more of what I was that
Yeah,
was more of what I was
yeah,
referring to. Yeah, you can't, as far as career longevity, I will totally agree. You can't hold a candle to the Scorpions as far as bands coming out of Deutschland.
yeah.
So
uh, So yeah, the one that I took on this week was Scar of the Sun, the Inertia. Didn't know a lot about this band. They're actually a band from Athens, Greece. They were formed in the late 2000s in London. Uh, they have this is actually their sophomore album. So I'm actually going to go back and listen to their debut because I was really impressed by this one. But let's see. They they consist of Terry Nickus, singer for was in Septic Flesh, Suicidal Angels, and Night Rage. Doesn't really say much about the other band members, which is weird. That's pretty weird. Uh,
Are
anyway,
you talking? You
so
talking about Scar the Sun?
yeah. It's just like they talked about him, and then whoever mastered the album is kind of all they really talk about. They don't really talk about the members, but not that I can see anyway. A lot of guest appearances on their stuff, even in the early stuff. Looks like they had a lot of guest appearances. They did have that on this one as well. There was, I think, like three guest appearances. Which one of the guest appearances was actually one of my favorite songs out of the album. But new album was 11 songs, 43 minutes, 44 seconds. Like they had one of those intros, which was weird to me because the intro Hydrogen was just music, and it was I don't even remember. It wasn't very long, but it went right into the title track Inertia, and it sounded the same, which was weird to me. I'm just like, why would it sound almost exactly the same?
Yeah,
it's almost like would rather than be like hydrogen slash inertia and make it like a whole one track instead of saying, "Oh,
right.
this is a track." I mean,
Yeah, I know, and I know we've talked about that how that
right,
it's a pet peeve of ours. I'm actually
right,
looking at the track list now for that, and yeah, it's a minute 36. Just add it on to the tail end of Inertia, and just make it a 5.5 minute song. It's not going to be the
right,
end of the world.
right. Uh,
And then also not they the I was looking at what was I looking at? I was actually looking at the website that I go to, and you were talking about the members of the band.
yeah.
I'm looking at metalarchives.com, and they
Oh
actually
yeah.
have Terry Nikas listed as vocals, keyboards, samples, and programming. Holy shit, some of these names. Of course, they're Greek, so golly, some of these names.
Right.
Okay, we have who do we got? We got Panagiotis Gastopoulos on bass. We have Alexei Charalampus on guitars. We have Thanos Pappas on drums. Tell me Thanos Pappas isn't a badass name. And then we have Greg Eleftherio on guitars. So there's the full lineup right there. Yikes.
Yeah, yeah.
All right,
But
so
better you
so
than me.
sorry.
I probably would have definitely butchered it. So
Yeah, so go ahead. I just wanted to look that up because you were talking about
yeah,
it didn't have all of the information on the band
yeah. It's like
members. So
I'm in a biography page of the band on their like site. So it's kind of crazy for them not to mention the,
yeah,
the actual members of the band. It's like what?
right, yeah. But
But
yeah,
yeah,
go
so
ahead.
yeah, I thought this album was like really really good. I can't remember I can't remember who I compared it to last night when we were talking about it, but and I hate comparing, you know, bands, but I mean, I feel like if you like this band, you'll like this band. It's kind of what I like to do because
Right.
a lot of people don't know a lot of these newer bands, and I feel like if I give them something, kind of compare it to, then they'll be able, more or less check it out. So. Uh, are more apt to check it out. The
Yeah.
one thing I did like about this was like they had like a couple of different tracks on here, and they were all like Quantum Leap, um, Quantum Leap 01, Quantum Leap 02, and Quantum Leap 03. And then they added a title. It's almost like a movie. It's like Quantum Leap 01, Torque Control, Quantum Leap 02, Transition to Turbulence, and then Quantum Leap 03, Thrust. And like it was so cool that they did that. I thought that was kind of creative on their part to do that, something like that, because it actually a you know added a little bit to where you didn't know you knew it wasn't repetitive. Uh,
Sure. Yeah.
yeah. So, but I thought
It adds a
I thought it was
different
pretty cool.
element for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was just kind of interesting to me that they did that. So, overall, I definitely give this one a four out of five horns. I'm actually,
Nice.
I usually do this, and then I'll, if it gets a pretty good rate, I usually go out and buy the album. I've done that with, and it ain't even got to be my review. Uh, I know you did a review of Icon of Sin, and I went out and bought that. So,
Oh,
so
yeah. That was a
yeah,
great album too.
yeah. So yeah, it's not just totally on my end. I mean, you know. So I also listened to A Mouth for War, Life Casting Glass. Little, I'm pretty sure they're a death metal band, but I will check that. I figured with a name like that, they may have been kind of Pantera-ish, But yeah,
Yeah. If only.
definitely, yeah, right. Uh, definitely. Of course, we've come across some bands that are definitely Pantera-ish, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. A
Uh,
perfect murder. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's so crazy. Like all the thing when you look it up, all you see is the mouth of war song. I don't know why, but anyway. But I'm pretty sure it was more death metal. I didn't I don't really care for a lot of the death metal stuff, but um, I feel like it was like 11 songs. It was only 28 minutes, so it had 11 songs in 28 minutes. They were really short songs. So yeah. So if you're into death metal, you want to check those guys out. Also, listen to the Seventh Crystal Delirium, like we were talking about earlier, and I also listened to the Sun Bomb, Evil and Divine, which is a debut album from some old school rockers.
Yeah.
Tracy Guns and Michael Sweet teamed up on that. So definitely, if you're a Striper fan and you're missing Michael Sweet vocals, there you go. Sun Bomb is there because it definitely reminded me a lot of Striper. Of course, we talked about this before too. When you got someone with that distinctive vocals, I think no matter what they're in, they're going to sound like where they originally came from.
Right.
I
Yeah. Oh yeah.
mean, so that was the ones that I've listened to this week. Uh, like I said, go out and check out that Inertia. Pretty good. All right. So guess we can lean into what we got coming up next week.
Yeah, we'll do that real quick before we get into the top 10. All right,
Yeah.
let's see. For May 21st, 2021, leading off with Amorphous live at Helsinki Ice Hall. Then we have also from Amorphous, we have the vinyl collection 2006 to 2020. That's going to be a box set. We have An Autumn for Crippled Children with As the Morning Dawns, We Close Our Eyes.
Oh
We have
wow.
I know that's a mouthful. We have Aaron Jones with Child of the State, not to be confused with Aaron Jones.
Hey,
Yeah, Aaron. Done fucked up, Aaron. But we have The Devil Wears Prada with Z2. That's an EP. We have Divine Heresy with a couple of re-releases. We have Bleed the Fifth and Bringer of Plagues. Those are actually both going to be vinyl re-releases.
oh,
We have
nice.
we have Hanging Garden with Skeleton Lake. We have Herman Frank with Two for a Lie. Herman Frank is actually the former guitar player for Accept, and I actually uh, watched a couple of videos for that new album. I think last weekend I saw those. They were actually pretty good. So that might be something worth checking out. We have Hippie Death Cult with Circle of Days. We have Impure Wilhelmina with Antidote. We have the Jailbirds with Jungle. That's an EP for them. We have Jess and the Ancient Ones with Vertigo. We have King Witch with Worship the Riffs. That's an EP for them. We have Mike Tramp with Everything Is All Right. And Mike Tramp was the former lead singer of White Lion,
Mm-hmm.
around making music. We have Monster Magnet with A Better Dystopia. We have Nadja with Luminous Rot. We have Pop Evil with Versatile. We have Skeletal Remains with Beyond the Flesh. That's a re-release for them. And we also have they have Skeletal Remains actually has they have three re-releases coming up this week with Beyond the Flesh,
So,
Condemned to Misery, and Desolate Isolation. We have Thunder Mother with Heat Wave, which is a deluxe edition release. We have Tooth and Claw with Dream of Ascension. Trick or Treat with the Unlocked Songs. We have 21 Pilots with Scaled and Icy. I'm not exactly sure why 21 Pilots is on this list, but that's neither here nor there. We have Metal Massacre 15 compilation that's coming out this week. We have Vexed with Culling Culture. We have Vola. We have Vulture with Deal and Death. We have Witch with Exordium, and we have Yautja. I guess is how you pronounce that.
Yeah.
Yaut. Yeah, Yautja. Yautja, I guess.
Yeah.
With the Lurch. So that is the list of new releases coming up for this coming Friday, May
Sounds
21st.
sounds like we got our pick of the herd there. So
Oh yeah, it sounds like we got a little bit of a list to choose from. Yeah, so
and you
so
said
that's
you said
nice.
and you saying something about some of those were being released on vinyl reminded me that the
Yeah.
record store day is coming up in June. So or one
Oh
day in
yeah, it is.
June 12th,
Yeah.
and then they're doing another one in July 17th. So they're doing two this year. So
Yeah, that's cool.
yeah. So all right. Well, so we decided we like I said we do a little bit of originality with this. We be seeing top tens all the time, so we say, hey, we'll do 10. We won't do our top 10 and like count it down. We just kind of throw the 10 in there, no particular order. Um,
Right.
and then this week we decided to do our 10 favorite movie soundtracks that contain heavy metal
Right.
music. So you want to go or you want me to go? It doesn't matter.
You go ahead and go first this week.
All
You'll be
right.
fine.
I know we're going to have some of the same ones. I already know that. So
Yeah, we probably will.
yeah. So
It happens.
one of the ones I went with was the Crow, of course. You had
Yeah.
Pantera, Helmet, Rollins Band, Rage Against the Machine. Those type bands on that soundtrack. One that a lot of people don't know about is Freddy versus Jason. El Nino, Kill Switch Engage, Mushroom Head, Slipknot. I mean, it was full of freaking metal songs. I loved it.
I
Movie,
completely
the
forgot about that one.
yeah,
Yeah.
the movie not so much, but the soundtrack is freaking great.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, the fact that we're going through a list of the movie soundtracks doesn't necessarily mean that we
right,
endorse the movie itself.
exactly. And you'll find out right here next because third one I have was the Crow City of Angels, which I did not care for the movie, but it had Corn, White Zombie, Deftones, Filter, had a lot of good songs in it. So,
Right.
um, and of course, one of the ones I have over here, like actually, I have everything. I don't have the Freddy and Jason one, which I probably need to get that one. I do have the Last Action Hero. Of course, it's got ACDC, Anthrax, Queensryche, Megadeth, Alice in Chains, all that on that one. That movie was kind of cheesy too, but like I said, it had a real good music to it. So I guess
Oh, it was
yeah,
it was
I wonder
total
if
it was total
yeah,
cheese. Yeah.
yeah. I wonder if you can't. I wonder if like they just can't have both in movies. I don't. I don't know. It's either got to be really good and then sucky ass music, or vice versa. Uh,
Yeah.
Anyway, I know you probably have this one too, but Queen of the Damned, Marilyn Manson, Static X, Disturbed Earshot, and one of my favorite horror movies. A lot of people may not agree, but Strangeland. It's actually a Dee Snider movie, and actually had a lot of metal artists on the soundtracks.
Oh, completely forgot
Yeah,
about that movie too.
yeah. Dee Snider, Seven Dust, Megadeth, Pantera, Cold Chamber. Yeah, a lot of good stuff on that one. Also had Resident Evil Extinction. They had Flyleaf, Shadows Fall, Throwdown. That's a couple of bands that we definitely are fond of on
Oh
there.
yeah.
Scream 3 had System of a Down, Cold Chamber, Power Man 5000, Godsmack. Pretty good little soundtrack there too. Airheads, of course, with Motorhead, Primus, White
Right.
Zombie,
Oh
Prong.
yeah.
Yeah, and then one of my favorites was the One. They do have a lot of scoring
Yeah.
tracks on there too, but they also have Drowning Pool, Papa Roach. A lot of tracks like that in it as well.
Hell
Um,
yeah.
so, so yeah, that was my 10 favorite soundtracks there.
Yeah.
No, somebody
Yeah,
said Scorpion.
I completely, yeah, Crowley talking about Scorpion King. I completely forgot about not necessarily that movie, but
Right.
I completely
And
forgot about the
yeah,
soundtrack for that one. Yeah.
I said, yeah, Godsmack actually had the title track for that album or for that
Yeah.
movie. So
Yeah. I Stand Alone. Yeah,
yeah.
that was a great song.
No. All right, what you got, Chris?
Nah, the movie sucked balls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that
All
that
right,
movie
yeah.
was actually okay. So
Yeah, the one where the one that had the Rock in it, where they didn't CGI him into it. Yeah, that wasn't
Right. Yeah.
horrible. It
Yeah.
wasn't horrible. Yeah, but all right, let's see. Yeah, yeah, we had a couple of the same ones, but not all of them. I will say this because since we're talking about our 10 favorite movie soundtracks, my favorite my favorite movie soundtrack is the music for the entire Rocky franchise
Hmm.
from start to finish. So those are my favorite, and not necessarily that those the music in those movies, they're not metal, but I mean you got Eye of the Tiger and songs like that, and even some of the original music that just goes along with some of the training montages and stuff like that.
Hmm.
For me, my favorite movie soundtracks are in the Rocky franchise. So I'm including that, even though it's not metal. But so for me, those are my favorite. But I also I also like you. I did have The Crow for all the reasons that you listed. I had Resident Evil, but I believe it's just the first one from
Yeah.
2002. Because I mean you got Slipknot, Marilyn Manson, Cold Chamber, Fear Factory, Static
Hmm.
X, Rammstein, Mudvayne, Saliva, back when they were still good.
Yeah.
So I mean, and then I also had the soundtrack from the heavy metal movie from 1981. I had that one.
Hmm.
That was one of my favorite ones for obvious reasons. But I mean, aside from the fact that the movie's called heavy metal, I mean, just some of the original scoring in that movie I thought was great. So that one was on the list for me. I also had Last Action Hero, like you. I actually I mean, I did say just a second ago that the movie was total cheese, and it is. But for some reason, I actually liked the movie. Um, I think the soundtrack was better than the movie, but I still liked
Right.
the movie. I mean, it didn't take itself seriously, so I mean that's part of the reason why I was able to enjoy it, because it wasn't like a serious. Schwarzenegger, he doesn't take himself too seriously. Sometimes, so I mean he can kind of laugh at himself, which is nice. And then the next one I had Dracula 2000, which
Hmm.
obviously it came out in 2000. So that one was a pretty good that one was a pretty good list of bands. You had Disturbed, Slayer, System of a Down, Monster Magnet, Linkin Park, Pantera, Static X, Taproot. You know, so that was a pretty good that was a pretty good soundtrack. And then I also had the one from the Jet Li movie. I had that one too. Like you said, it didn't have a ton of songs on it, but the songs that were on there, they were good. I enjoyed those. And then the next one I had the soundtrack for The Punisher from 2004,
Oh yes.
the one that had Thomas Jane and John Travolta in it. Um, I thought it was a good movie and a good soundtrack, so that helps. But you had Drowning Pool, Puddle of Mud. You had Broken by Seether featuring Amy Lee. So you had a little bit of a slow song, but you had Trapped and Chevelle and Damage Plan, Hate Breed. So I mean, I thought it was also another good thought it was another good soundtrack. And like I say, it was a good movie too, so that kind of helps. And then my next one was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake from 2003. That
Matthew McConaughey.
uh, was he in that? I know
I,
Jessica Biel was in it, but I don't know.
I think so.
I can't remember. It's been so long since I've seen the movie. I'll be completely honest with you, and I think I only saw the remake once. So someone could verify that. I don't remember because, like I say, I only saw the remake once. But on the soundtrack, you had Pantera, Hatebreed, Soil, Static X, Mushroomhead, Seether, Nothing Face, Motograder, Shadows Fall, Meshuggah, Fear Factory, Morbid Angel, Lamb of God. I mean, for Christ's sake, from that honestly, I probably should have had that one a little higher, but I mean, we don't necessarily go in order like you say. Um, but so that if we were ranking them, it would probably be a little higher than where I have it. And then I also had the soundtrack to the movie Airheads. I like the soundtrack, and I also like the movie because obviously it was a comedy. So I mean, Brendan Fraser, Adam Sandler, Steve Buscemi, they play the band the Lone Rangers, which they joke about that all the way through the movie. There's three of you. You're not exactly lone. So, and obviously Joe Mantegna being the DJ at the radio station, I love watching that movie. So it helps that the movie's good and the soundtrack is good. And then I did put one honorable mention in there. I did have the soundtrack to the Mark Wahlberg movie Rockstar.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I liked that
most
movie.
definitely.
And yeah, I liked that movie, and I liked the soundtrack because it was all original music, and also you got to see Zach Wild beardless,
Right.
so
Yeah.
that was kind of cool too because
So
you don't exactly Crowley. I ain't farting on no snare drum.
right.
Oh
Who
God,
was the
that's one of the best lines from that movie, Crowley. I fucking love it. I ain't farting on no snare drum. I love that shit. That's so good.
so the Matthew McConaughey Texas Chainsaw Massacre was '94, so it was the old one.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Uh,
Okay.
then there's another movie, Trick or Treat. That movie was all original too. I was trying to remember the band that was in that. Oh man, I can't remember who it was. Flawless or something like that.
Hang on. You talking about the Trick or Treat movie?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like it was the band itself was in the movie too, I believe.
Treat movie soundtrack. All right, let's see what we got going here. Fastway?
Fastway, that was it. Yes.
Fastway?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, and they did like every song on there. so
Actually, they actually did. They did yeah, there's 9 songs on the soundtrack. The movie came out in 1986, and yeah, Fastway the band, they did all 9 songs on the soundtrack.
there's one more I wanted to look up real quick. It was called Black Roses. It was about a metal band. They were aliens invading a town. It was kind of a corny ass movie, but it was definitely had a great soundtrack though.
Yeah,
Bang
that the movie
Bang Tango.
King Cobra,
Yeah, I had a lot of good bands.
Lizzie Borden.
Yeah, and then Black Roses, of course, was a band at the time
Yeah,
too.
they did
So
Black
they did a
Roses.
lot
They
of
did
they had a
Yeah,
lot
they
of
did
original stuff
one,
there too. So
two. Yeah, they had 1, 2, 3. It looks like Black Roses actually had 4 songs on the 4 original songs. Yeah, so
yeah,
it was a 10-track soundtrack. The movie came out in 1988.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
it was like a real like I mean at the time it was probably okay, but it was a really kind of corny movie if you watch it now. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, but yeah, the effects in it was kind of like all right, man. So
Yeah. So that so
that
those
was that.
that was our top that was both of our top tens for this week. What we decided last night. Oh, we decided to do our top 10 instrumentals
Instrumentals.
next week,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Okay. That'll be the topic for the top 10 next week. Yep.
Yep. So all right, you have any closing thoughts there, Chris? Or?
Well, I just wanted to bring up real quick because I forgot to include it when we did the current events news, and it dawned on me when we were doing This Week in Metal History. But I wanted to touch base on the story that I believe your wife first posted to the Facebook group. She was talking about that. She posted that article talking about does heavy metal make you fat? Do you
Oh
remember?
yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, I had that. I saw that your wife had posted that, and I meant to actually hang on to that, and I completely forgot.
I mean,
So real quick,
have you seen Vince Neil lately? I mean,
well, I mean, well, yeah. Um,
uh,
well, I mean, not lately, because apparently he was doing a
yeah,
hell of a job losing a bunch of weight. So,
he got back in shape here recently, but he
but I
definitely got
mean,
big. He definitely got big.
yeah. Well, they do say that round is a shape. So, I mean,
Well, that's true. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah. I mean, so yeah. For while there where Vince Neil kind of took that to heart. But I mean, I guess good on him for getting back into shape for the tour. Hopefully he keeps it up and he stays in shape for the rescheduled tour
Yeah,
next year.
for the next year.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I just wanted to bring that back up real quick because, like I say, Susie first posted it, and I meant to bring it to the show, and I completely forgot until about halfway through. So I just wanted to just bring that up. We talk about it real quick because it
Yeah.
is kind of funny too. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we actually want to thank you guys that joined us up on Haps today. Hopefully, this will be the main new platform that we air on. Uh, like I said, it looked like we had a lot of interaction today. I like that we had a lot of interaction, so that's good.
yeah, the interaction part was fun.
Yeah,
The first time we've had that, got quite a few chuckles out of Crowley, so that was nice.
right. Uh, but yeah, you any more last thoughts, or do we wrap this up?
Well, just normally the same thing I always kind of end the show with. I just want to thank everybody for coming by and like I say for the first time interacting with us during the show. Um, just want to remind everybody that, like Jason, like you said earlier in the show, we do have the Metalheads Unite Facebook page over there. So come on by and see us over there and leave us a review or just put, God damn it. I can't get through this shit without Crowley posting something funny. But come on over to the Metalheads Unite Facebook page and let us know how you're doing. If you got and if you want to become a member, just request a membership. We'll approve you guys to come hang out with us, and then you can post a video if there's something you want us to listen to that you think we may not have heard before, or if you see something new that we didn't post and you get to it first, go ahead and post it. We'll all check it out and enjoy it. But again, just thanks everybody for coming by, and come check us out next week. We hope everybody enjoyed the show, and we'll come and continue to hang out with us.
Yeah,
I know I had a blast.
oh yeah, that's always fun like I said, we learn more doing this than we probably ever have. So it's cool to learn new stuff, and
Oh yeah,
especially with the new music, we love the new music.
yeah.
So
And
yeah, we
now
will think
and also now cool to meet new people on the chat. So
right, exactly. So yeah, I want to thank you guys for dropping in. Even if you just gave us a moment of your time, we appreciate it. I know life is busy, and a lot of times we don't have 2 hours to set aside to listen to two guys rattle on about heavy metal. But we appreciate you guys
right.
stopping in and listening to us, no matter the length that you were here. We appreciate it. So that being said, I guess we will close that out here, and you guys keep those devil horns held high and jump in that pit anytime you can. We'll see you guys next week.
Thank you guys. Everybody have a great week. And Crowley, you need to come up with more one-liners.
Yeah, right. He said, "Do."
Dale, yeah, all right. I'm gonna hold you to it.
I guess we still have like a minute and a half. I didn't know that.
Oh, all right. Well, that's fine. I mean, we can kind of we can BS a little bit for 90 seconds.